We're live.
Wait, hold on. Anybody got a Ouija board out there? Is this what I'm seeing? Is this what you guys are seeing? Oh my God.
Back from the dead, baby. Back from the dead.
Oh, so dead. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in once again with
Skip.
and the King. You guys know what to do. Go find us. Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Wait, that's an X. Yeah, I think we got a couple of those. I think everybody does. But hopefully on YouTube, which is where you're watching us right now. And please go down there, click subscribe, click like, leave a comment. Like I said before, we have that giveaway for that Raptors sweater. I'm not pulling it out. Go back in the archives and look it out. Look it up. You can see it, right? Once we get to 750, it can go to one of you lucky ladies and gentlemen out there in this universe. And thank you for enjoying our fantastic guests and welcoming back my man. Could never have done this without you. Skip, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little dusty after going to the Raptors game last night and watching them beat the Hawks, but it was a good game. Nice to be there in person for once and get me back in the basketball mindset after kind of tuned out for part of the season with all the stuff that's been going on with the Raptors, and it's been a rough go. So it was nice to get back in the groove.
Your hiatus is doing something.
Yeah. No,
Right?
so I'm doing all right.
Well, last night, bro.
What's that?
How much were the drinks last night, man?
Oh, it's stupid now. It's ridiculous. Like I think a 750 mils is like $20 at the ACC now, or the Scotiabank. It was filthy. Like I know you're not getting cheap prices there. I know it's going to be $14-15, but like after tax $20, that hurt the wallet, man. That hurt. I got free tickets, and I feel like I still feel like I splurged on the game. Like, geez.
Well, okay, Skip, you've come back from the dead, right? Because we wanted to cover this topic, right? So apparently, you know me, I'm always on my phone, I'm always on the internet, right? And so are you. And we've seen a lot of rumors that the Raptors can potentially be trading for the likes of Zach LaVine from the right? Now, I won't get into it yet. I'll wait till you say what you got to say, right? But how valid and is it worth it, like your $20 beers last night, for the Raptors to go ahead and pull the trigger on that trade?
I think the $20 beer thing is actually a great analogy, because I think Zach LaVine is very much a $20 beer. He's a good player. He's solid. He also makes a lot of money. And as far as what the Raptors are going to do with him, I don't see him being the guy that's going to push them over the top. I think he's a high usage player who would come in and replace Gary Trent. I mean, the framework of the trade we've talked about is probably, you're looking at Gary Trent, Chris Boucher, Thaddeus Young going out to make the money work. I threw Christian Koloko in there and a first round pick, because Chicago is going to need some kind of compensation. They're not going to get probably what they're asking for, but they're going to need like a pick in there somewhere. But essentially, you're swapping out Gary Trent for an upgrade in Zach LaVine. And yes, he's an upgrade. He's a better version of Gary Trent Jr. But is he a better enough version of that type of prototype of player, right? You know, you're weighing your three-point shooter to turn this team that's 4 or 5 games under 500 into a contender. Like, I don't see that. I see trading for Zach LaVine as being a very Bulls move. It's the same kind of thing the Bulls would do, which is why the Bulls are in the exact same spot as the Raptors right now, because they did make a lot of trades like that. They went out and they got Vukovic, they got LaVine, and where did it get them? It got them nowhere. So I think trading for Zach LaVine is a fast train to nowhere, especially with the roster underperforming as they have so far this season. I just don't see it being really. This front office needs to get their head out of the sand and stop being like, we need to add to this roster. We need to add to this roster. We need to bring in a Jakob Poeltl. We need to bring in this. We need to bring in this. This is a rebuild cycle. This is a classic rebuild cycle after winning a championship, and they need to start thinking the other direction, shipping pieces out and really resetting the deck.
Skip, you said something there.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to get the head out of the sand. Okay. I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen, but the front office has a vision.
Mm-hmm.
What do we call 6-9? Okay, which they're trying to implement with the new coaching staff. I am sick and tired of hearing fair weather fans and hearing people right at the end of a loss, let's blow this up, let's get rid of it. No. Stop with that. There is a vision. It needs to be implemented. There needs to be a progression to get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, when it comes to Zach LaVine, I'm going to say it, Skip. We're already far into the YouTube show, so I could say it. Fuck no! Are you kidding me? Why? Why are you people putting this up there? I've seen a lot of you credible websites out there publishing articles, posting it on Raptors pages. Yeah, some of y'all from out in the UK, some of y'all from the States, some of y'all, I don't even know where y'all from, right? You call yourself 360. Anyway, y'all wrong, okay? You're just stirring up the pot. I do believe that the Raptors have a vision on how to get better. It needs to be implemented with the progression of the players and the development, especially even setting Dick to the G League. You gave the G some dick, right? He hit the. Can we make that?
I think your mic cut out right when you're saying that, so maybe that's for the best.
Okay, well, Jake hit the G spot. To reiterate, but no, I do believe it's a gradual process. It's not going to happen in one day. Rome was not built in one day. Okay, God did not create the universe in one day. He even had to take a 7th day off just to relax, right? Okay, so y'all need to chill with that bullshit that I see there online from your fake ass news and your uncredible reporters. Okay, now Skip, let's play some devil's advocate. Let's put on the horns.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to trade for Zach LaVine, what would you give up?
Well, I mean, I covered the package. I covered the package already.
Hold up.
Yeah.
I want to put up that picture.
Yeah. Okay, so the package that I already mentioned this, but the package that I think has been bandied around the most is Trent, Boucher, Thaddeus Young for contract, balancing out the contracts. You might need to throw another minimum salary guy in. So I threw Koloko in, and then you're going to need to have a pick in there somewhere. So I think that sort of gets the money kind of works. Chicago gets a bit of an asset or two out of the deal. Not really what they're looking for, but an asset or two. But the key for them also is that they clear a lot of salary off the books, 2-3 years down the road. Because Zach LaVine is currently tied down for, I believe, 4 more years. I'm not sure if the last year's guaranteed, but 4 more years essentially. And that's a huge burden on the Bulls books, and it's also going to be a huge burden on the Raptors books. Keep in mind when they have to re-sign OG and Pascal, you're really locking into that being your big three if you're going to make that trade. Now, I will say there is a wrinkle to this trade that I think would make it much more interesting from a Raptors perspective, and that's, listen, if you can get Alex Caruso in this deal some way, somehow, I think that changes the balance of this trade, right? Because Alex Caruso, another excellent three-point shooter, another excellent defender, gives your team a bit more of an identity. If you can bring a guy like that in to go alongside an OG, a Pascal, a Zach LaVine, as sort of that fourth or fifth cog in the wheel, maybe a really good bench piece. Now, I don't think Chicago's going to want to attach.
Okay, we don't need Elmer Fudd to play speed. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't, I don't think Chicago's just going to throw him in. I think they probably, in a lot of circles, I think Alex Caruso is actually valued more highly than Zach LaVine because of the contract situation, right? And because he's paid like a role player. He's a very good role player. I think he was all defense last year, if I'm not mistaken. He's really a great glue guy, and I think if you somehow work Alex Caruso in this deal, you're losing a lot of depth. Remember, if you're getting rid of Chris Boucher, Gary Trent, you're losing a little bit of depth there. If you can get an Alex Caruso back, you're balancing that out a little bit. Your bench starts to make a lot more sense if you have a second piece like that to factor in, whether it's a starter or a bench piece. I just think it strengthens the whole lineup a lot more, and it makes the team a lot more formidable. But that said, what's your ceiling? What's your ceiling with the core three of OG, Pascal, and Zach LaVine? I think it's probably a 5 seed. It's a 5 seed, and like, is that good enough? Is that what we want? I mean, it's better than not making the play-in, I guess.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
May I for a bit, Skip? It's been a while since you and I have been here, and I've ranted.
Mm-hmm.
Shit off my chest. No Amber Heard joke there, okay? But you'll hear it. Listen, let me tell you, okay? There is no reason to blow up this core. You got your Pascal, you got your OG, you got your Scotty, you got your Schroeder, you got Boucher running the bench, right? Here's what I will say.
Boucher can barely get minutes right now, but go on.
If the Raptors were to make a trade, the one part that they're lacking to get them over the hump is their three-point shot. Because let's face it, that's the landscape of the NBA today. Now, who has been inhibiting that and prohibiting that, but meanwhile being tried to be relied upon for it? Well, that's Gary Trent Jr. Okay? And I see that if they were to make a trade, it wouldn't have to be major. Don't look at me like that. Okay? If they were to make a trade, it would have to be for him to replace a three-point spot-up shooter until we could bring the dick from the G spot. Okay? Once he's on. No, Skip, stop for a second. Okay? And that's the one area where the Raptors lack. And yes, TSN, Sportsnet, yes, I have said it, and you've said it on your broadcast after I've said it. The Raps got a damn good paint game. They got a damn good transition game. They got a damn good mid-range game. What they're lacking is to keep up with the Joneses or the Kardashians. Yeah, there's actually a Kardashian team. What they're lacking is a three-point shot. So if anybody is Sylvester Stallone or Jason Statham and they're expendable, you can get rid of Gary Trent for a better shooter. Bring back Norman Powell. Skip. Come on, let's go. Let's go, buddy.
Okay, so listen. Go look up Gary Trent's three-point shooting stats this year. Trust me, they're not as bad as you think they are. They're actually better than Zach LaVine's. Now that's on a slightly lower usage. We haven't even talked about LaVine's injury, by the way, but we'll get back to that. Okay. Yeah. So Gary Trent has. What's that?
I said, you want to get into his three-point stats? I got them right here.
Well, look at their career numbers, right? They're both 38% three-point shooters, like on the nose. Now, career. But this year, Gary Trent's actually been better than Zach LaVine. And look, it's not on quite as many attempts a game. Zach LaVine will hoist up 2 or 3 more shots a game. That's a given because he's a more high usage player. But if you're talking about purely fixing the Raptors' three-point problem, and they do have a three-point problem, they do need shooters. Gary Trent's not the guy you're sending out. Like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul here. You need a guy next to Gary Trent who can make shots. That was supposed to be Grady Dick, but Grady can't get a shot off in the league yet. And yeah, I mean, if that's the problem you're trying to solve with this trade, it's a pretty lateral move. It's an upgrade, but it's a pretty lateral upgrade. That's a contradiction, but it's almost lateral, slight upgrade. Where I think it kind of becomes more of an issue is like he's just a much more well-rounded player than Trent, right? He can do a lot of other things that Trent can't do, scoring inside, kind of be more of a ball dominant player. But
that's not needed for the Raptors.
Exactly. That's why LaVine, it's not a great fit. I think he would make them better, but like, yeah, he's the type of team that he's a type of player that bad teams trade for to get average. He's not the type of team that good teams trade for to get great.
It doesn't fit contract wise. It doesn't fit on the floor wise. Yeah. Okay. What I'm trying to explain to you and you Raptors Nation out there and you To The Point family is the Raptors, all they need right now is 3-point shoots. Just someone just to duck it. You know? Scotty's been helping out with that.
And 3-point defense too. I mean, they've got to work on their defense has been a little bit weird this year.
It's been wonky, but that's okay. Yeah. It's not the same as Nick Nurse's concentration on the defense as he had last year, as opposed to his offense. Okay. But all they really need to show and prove that they can be a contender in the East. Because we both know the East is, I'm going to say it, we're already far on YouTube, fucking good. Okay? You got a lot of great teams out there. And what they need to compete with these teams is basically a 3-point shot, right? Like they outmatch teams in transition. They got the paint. They got the mid, like I said earlier. I'm not going to reiterate. But when the Raptors do have to make a trade, because the trade deadline is approaching, ladies and gentlemen, Skip, what area do you think they need to address? And that's a question of the rhetoric sort, because I'm just going to say 3-point area.
I mean, 3-point shooting is an issue. Defense is an issue. I think the whole roster is just broken, to be honest with you. I really am in favor of blowing it up at this point. I really am kind of at the point where Siakam, in particular, I think Siakam would fetch such a return on the trade market. We're not going to turn this into a Siakam episode, but I think Siakam would fetch such a return on the trade market that you have to start thinking about this and thinking about what kind of franchise player can I get for Pascal Siakam. And you know, he goes to a team like Philly, makes them a championship contender. He goes to a team like I don't know who else, but there's lots of teams in the league that could use him to really send them to that next level. And I would really be scanning the market to see what to do. Now, if you want to get better this year, which is kind of how this front office operates, yes, you're probably going to bring in a backup point guard. You're probably going to bring up, you know, a spot up shooter, something like that. But you have to give something to get these pieces, and you can't keep throwing away first round picks if you're an under 500 team. It's just not a winning strategy in the long term. But go on.
Let me tell you, Skip. You just brought up Spicy P.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He might not be the franchise player because we all know that's Scotty, right? Yeah. But, however, if we're gonna give up Pascal and OG,
and I don't know if I'd give both, but like I would. I want
to see a Giannis or Joker come into the. You can't do that unless you're getting like a franchise player that's better than Scotty.
Well, you better be getting a lottery pick. Like I want something good. Like, yeah.
No, screw a lottery pick. There's too many young guys on this goddamn team right now.
Yeah.
You need Kawhi. You need a number 2. You need somebody to step in and take that role and be the man while Scotty can be the number 2 as he is growing as a player, so he can understand to take the reins for this team in the future. Honestly, like I said it, if you're going to get rid of a Pascal, if you're going to get rid of an OG, I want to see a Giannis or a Joker or a Luka. I want to see something of that caliber.
Yeah, I just want to see a brand new young roster around Scotty. I want to see, it's not a perfect solution, but I think they really need to start stockpiling young assets. That's kind of where I would go with it. But anyway, I wasn't trying to turn this into a Siakam episode. I'm just saying, rather than going out and trading for a max salary guy, I think you got to start looking the other directions. You got to start looking, how do we take this team that's under 500 and make it better around Scotty in the future?
I agree with you on that, making things better. Yes, Pascal, OG, Boucher, they're all getting older, right? We
Mhm.
understand. Raptors have moved on from Fred and Kyle, right? Who are older,
Mhm.
right? So, and they're pushing Scotty, showcasing him and pushing him to the forefront. I get that, and I do agree. He's the face of the franchise, coming in the future, right? But as of right now, I just wanted to address the fans out there. STFU when it comes to trading for. Okay, seriously, really?
Yeah,
If
let's
you
put a
want,
stick in it. Put a fork in it.
something, address what the Raptors need. Don't be like a Houston or an LA Clippers where you just trade for, or a Philly where you just trade for a big name player and they provide jack shit, or James Harden. But you don't do that, right? Like, you have to fit in with what's in the system. Skip, do you have anything left that you would like to say out there for the lovely ladies and gentlemen since you're back?
Just what's up? Keep watching the show. Keep following the show. I'm not back, but I'm always around. I'm still alive. I'm just very, very busy. I don't really have time to pay attention to this.
Hungover.
I'm a little hungover today, but yeah, no, just keep following the channel, keep sharing the channel, and yeah, keep building Brian up, man.
Skip, thanks, man, for coming, digging yourself out of the grave today.
Mm-hmm.
You know this chemistry. So, gentlemen, you can find Skip at Dougie J's. You know, I'm pretty sure he's probably heard that he got dodgered. His J's got dodgered.
Oh yeah. The
Right?
Shohei thing, I was even keeled all the way through, but the rest of Jay's Twitter just went absolutely batshit over this one, and I understand why. I never really believed he was coming here. Even when that report came out on trade rumors, I was like, I don't trust it yet, and I was right. I shouldn't have trusted it. Anyway.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't get your hopes up. But yeah, you guys find him at Dougie J's. You guys find us at To The Point, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, X, Apple, Amazon, Spotify. And you guys can find me at King Hussein. Get at me, DM me. I don't mind. I really don't give a shit. And you guys find Arturas, our producer, right there. My man, behind the scenes, right? Click on the link for your productions that you need help with. Reach out to him. Okay? So on behalf of myself, Skip, I can't believe I'm saying that, Arturas, and the To The Point family, and everybody that has come on To The Point. And if you're watching this, I consider you To The Point family. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and
Peace.